So if I hit A, the A key, what that's going to do is show me a preview of my adaptive skin. And where that is underneath your adaptive skin menu. You're going to see a preview button. If you hit A, it's going to toggle that on. And I'm going to go into solo mode here so you can kind of see what the geometry looks like. Now the reason why it looks like a lot more geometry than what you drew is because your density is at 2. Turn that down to 1, and now you'll see your exact topology here. You can do, if I hit A again, you're going to see some more options on your topology menu here. And again, I'm just hold down Shift to open up multiple menus. You can go down here to skin thickness, so you can crank that up, and then hit A, and that'll give you a preview of your skin thickness. Let's crank that up a little bit more. A little bit more. There we go. So you can see it's pushing out. This is actually the outer bounds. If I go out of subtool, this is the outer bounds of the skin thickness that I want. So I'm actually going to do a negative skin thickness and hit A. And now you can see it's pushing in. So we got the outside and then the inside and then a polygroup down the middle. If this is what I want, I can go ahead and hit make adaptive skin. Also, if you want, you can make the skin thickness 0 and then just use your Z modeler brush like we did before and give it thickness as well. But you know, this skin thickness is fine. So I'm going to hit make adaptive skin. Go up here to my subtool menu. You're going to see there is a skin Z sphere thrown out in my tool menu here. In order to append that or insert it, I'm going to go down here to insert. Grab that skin Z sphere, and there we go. So now, don't get confused. This is a Z sphere. If I hit A, I'm back to Z spheres. This subtool is geometry. I can hit A all day long. It's not going to do anything because it's actual geometry. So I don't get confused, I'm going to go ahead and take the Z sphere and just delete it. Don't need that anymore. Now this is actual geometry here. So I can go in here with my move brush. I can move this stuff around. I can hold down Shift and smooth out these vertices. I can hold down Control Shift and isolate that. And I can kind of sculpt and smooth. If it's smoothing too much, again, hold down Shift and crank your Z intensity down. You can just kind of average these vertices out a little bit. And if you had kept your original mesh, you could actually do a subtool projectile to snap that back to your surface. But, you know, that was just placeholder here. I'm just getting a nicer mesh going. And now I can go through with fewer vertices and move around these shapes to give me a little bit straighter line on the sides. You know, these are kind of blobby, so I can just kind of go and even these things out. And the reason why this is important is because with fewer vertices, when you go to smooth this object with creasing or whatever, you're going to have a much smoother transition between your forms. So with simple geometry comes smoother forms. Because with Dynamesh, we had a bunch of polygons together, and when you go and start smoothing that stuff down, you're going to end up with a lot of lumpy stuff going on because there's so many verts to manage. But if you can simplify that by using Z-Sphere retopology or ZRemesh retopology or the Polygy brush retopology, however you want to do it, this will just give you fewer points to pull around and at the end a more refined, smoother mesh. Now if you don't like one of these transitions, like here, I can go to my Z modeler brush, I can hover over an edge, and I can do split, and I can split that edge. And actually I forgot, this actually has more geometry. I isolated at the beginning, so I need to Control Shift to bring everything back. And now what I can do is hover over this edge and do a split edge. And now I can hover over this edge and do a delete edge. I'm just going to delete these extraneous edges here. There we go. So that'll just kind of improve that edge flow around there. And I can also do it on the back here, so I can go ahead and hover over that. We'll do another split edge, and then hover over this edge and do a delete. There we go. A little bit better edge flow around that corner there. And again, we can go in here. Now, when we did the skin thickness, it went ahead and creased my polygroups already. If you go in here, you can see a little dotted line here. So if I hit D to do my dynamic preview under geometry, you're going to see that's what it looks like. I'm going to go back to Matcap Gray and a white color here. So that's what we have going here. If you want to make it thinner, hit Shift D, and then go into your QMesh polygroup all. And then as you're QMeshing, it'll actually make more geometry, or if you hold down Shift, it'll just push and pull along that surface normal. So you can actually make it a little bit thinner here, and then go in here and kind of clean this up. And you know, after you've done a lot of cleanup on the outside and you realize, you know what, I don't want to have to clean up the inside, just Control Shift, isolate that, geometry modify topology, delete hidden, and then do a QMesh polygroup all, and then just give yourself some new skin thickness like so, and you're good to go. Now, if we hit D and we're seeing you know, it's kind of rounding out these corners, and maybe I don't want that. All I have to do is hover over an edge and do a crease. Hover over an edge. And if it's hard to see the edge, just hit Shift D, and that'll get you that edge there. Then you can go edge, crease, a single edge. Go ahead and crease that edge, then hit D, and there you go. You can also crease edges while you're in this preview mode if you can find it. So there's the actual edge there. Tap that, and Yeah, this one up here. So sometimes on these big corners, since it's averaging the vertices, it's kind of hard to select, but these ones are a little bit easier. You can go through here and crease that stuff. So you can crease it while you're in dynamic mode if you want. I'll go ahead and undo those. And undo that last one there. There we go. So now we've got a nice retopologized mesh. Now if I want to, I can also go in here to my deformation menu, way down here, and you can do inflate, and you can kind of inflate that out. Now, you're going to see as I inflate positively, it's actually shrinking my mesh. What's up with that? Well, when I did my make adaptive skin, ZBrush was tricky, and if I go down here to my display properties, it turned on double for me. So everything looks fine, but if you turn double off, you're going to see it actually flipped my normals when it gave me skin thickness. Or actually, it turned on, actually more accurately what it did, when it gave me skin thickness, it may have done my normals correctly, but when you do a Z-sphere skin thickness, it turns on double under your display properties. So when I did my Q-mesh brush and flipped the normals, I didn't realize I had messed it up. So now I just got to go down here to flip, and I'm good to go. So be careful with that double and flip turned on. ZBrush will do that automatically sometimes. So now if I bring everything back, go to polyframe mode, go to solo mode, you're going to see I have my original mesh brush there. I'm going to go into my geometry deformations and then just do a quick inflate, and now it's inflating in the right direction. Just to kind of get it, you know, when you retopologize something, you're already giving it less vertices, so it will tend to shrink your object if you're not careful. So just bring the original one back. If you don't need it anymore, you can go ahead and Alt tap it and then delete it. And again, if you want to have this mirrored on both sides, let's do a quick, we've done this before, mirror across the X, and then geometry, modify topology, mirror and weld across the X. Of course, I've got mine right here, mirror, mirror and weld. Make sure you hit X to toggle on, activate symmetry in the X axis, and then you're good to go. And now you can either hit D to give you a preview, or if you want to, hit Control D to actually give you subdivisions that you can now go up and down in subdivision and move these things around.